All right, strap in, everyone, because today we're going deep, really deep, into a truly massive event.
Oh, yeah, huge.
A gigantic meteorite impact on early Earth.
That's right.
And get this, we're going to look at how it may have helped shape, like, the very first life forms.
Yeah, how it might have actually helped.
How crazy is that?
Well, it's pretty amazing to think we're not talking about your average space rock here.
Right, like a little pebble?
Picture a meteor, like 50 to 200 times bigger than the one that took out the dinosaurs.
Wow, so the one that hit the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, the Chicxulub impact.
That was just a little
Pebble.
pebble compared to this.
Exactly, a pebble.
So this is, we're talking way before the dinosaurs. Right?
Oh, yeah, way before.
Way before anything we'd even recognize as life, really. But there was life, right?
There was life. It was just very early microbial life.
Okay, so like single-celled organisms and things like that.
That's right. And we're going to explore how this catastrophic event might have actually helped shape its evolution.
That's wild.
Yeah, so we're using some incredibly well-preserved geological formations in South Africa as our window into this deep past.
Okay, so we're using these rocks to...
These rocks tell a story.
Okay.
A fascinating story of devastation, resilience, and maybe even opportunity for those early microbes.
Wow, that's really cool. And the story is laid out in a brand new research article from PNAS called Effect of a Giant Meteorite Impact on Paleoarchean Surface Environments and Life.
Right.
Published very recently, just on October 21st, 2024.
Yeah.
So, hot off the presses, and this is what we're going to be kind of dissecting today.
Absolutely.
Let's start by painting a picture of what the world looked like before this S2 impact, about 3.26 billion years ago.
Okay, so...
What did Earth look like?
Imagine shallow seas.
Okay.
Covering much of the planet.
Right.
Some areas turbulent with currents and, like, swirling sandy debris, while others are calmer, like peaceful lagoons.
Okay, so I can picture that. A pretty serene scene for the Archean.
Yeah, for the Archean eon.
But there's a twist.
There is.
Right, something about iron.
Yes, the deeper ocean
Okay.
was richer in iron than the surface waters.
Interesting.
This is actually key because it plays a big role in how the impact kind of reshapes things.
So the iron is going to play a role in how life...
In how life responds to this impact, yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. So we got the shallow seas, some rough, some calm.
Right.
And deeper waters loaded with iron.
Yeah.
What about life itself? So are there any, like, little critters swimming around?
Well, we don't have actual fossils from this time period.
Okay.
So we have to rely on clues, indirect clues.
Okay.
Like carbon isotopes. These act like chemical fingerprints and help us understand what kind of microbes might have been thriving.
Oh, that's interesting. Carbon isotopes.
Yeah.
So like little detectives helping us solve the mystery.
It's a billions-year-old mystery.
Wow, that's really cool. So what did the isotopes tell us? Any hints about the what kind of life was there?
They suggest a mix of simple, like, microbial communities.
Okay.
Perhaps even some that thrived in those iron-rich, deeper waters.
Okay, so we have this life bubbling along in this ancient ocean.
Right.
And then, bam!
Bam!
This monster meteor slams into Earth.
Yeah.
What kind of immediate chaos does that unleash?
Oh, you're talking massive tsunamis, the kind that dwarfs anything we've ever seen.
Wow.
The geological evidence is dramatic. You see jumbled layers of rock ripped up from the seafloor.
Oh, wow.
And scattered with these tiny solidified droplets of molten rock called spherules.
Spherules? So like little tiny pieces of the meteor.
Yeah, basically the Earth got splashed with molten rock from space.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it would have been a scene of unimaginable destruction.
I bet.
And it all happened incredibly fast. We're talking spheral deposition, tsunami waves tearing through the ocean. And then a fallback layer of debris settling out, all probably within days.
So all within days?
Yeah, like incredibly fast.
This is just a rapid-fire sequence of events.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Cataclysmic events.
It's hard to even imagine.
It is. It is.
So the tsunami mixes up this iron-rich deep water with the surface water.
That's right. It all gets mixed up.
What does that do to the environment?
Well, that's one of the key changes.
Okay.
Suddenly, the surface waters are flooded with this iron that wasn't there before, which has major implications for the types of microbes that can survive and flourish.
Gotcha. So it changes.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Who can live there, yeah.
But there's another fascinating twist that the researchers uncovered.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Hit me with it.
What other consequences did this impact have?
They found evidence of ocean evaporation.
What?
Yeah, the atmosphere got so hot from the impact
Wow.
that it literally boiled off some of the ocean.
Oh my gosh.
They found unique crystal formations above the impact layer that point to this extreme heating.
So literally boiling oceans.
The literally boiling ocean.
That's wild.
It's incredible.
This impact is just throwing everything it can at this poor planet.
It really is.
I mean, first you got life getting pummeled by tsunamis,
Right.
shrouded in darkness, and then the ocean's literally boiling away.
It's an inferno.
What chance do these early microbes even have to
Right.
survive all this?
That's a great question. Well, this is where things get really exciting.
Okay.
The carbon isotopes,
Right.
they reveal that there was this initial disruption of microbial communities.
Oh. Okay.
Think of it as like a mass extinction event,
Right.
but on a microbial scale.
Okay.
But here's the incredible part.
Okay.
The evidence points to a microbial comeback.
So even after all that,
Oh, yeah.
they came back.
And a dramatic one.
Wow. So what fueled this comeback?
Well,
I mean, the world's still reeling from this impact, right?
it is.
I mean, it's still crazy out there.
Yeah, it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Oh?
Remember all that iron the tsunami brought to the surface?
Right, from the deep ocean.
Exactly. And it turns out certain microbes actually thrive in iron-rich environments. They use it for energy.
Gotcha.
It's like the impact inadvertently set the table for them.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like
Yeah.
they were just waiting
They were ready
for all this
for
iron
all this iron to come up.
to the surface.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah, so these iron-loving microbes, they
Huh.
get a sudden boost.
So is there anything else helping them bounce back?
Well, here's another surprising twist.
Okay.
The vaporized meteorite itself
Okay.
likely contributed phosphorus to the environment. Phosphorus is essential for life.
Right.
And it was probably pretty scarce back then.
Gotcha.
So this impact, as destructive as it was,
Right?
it also delivered this this vital nutrient.
Wow. So it's like it kind of gave with one hand to took away with the other.
Exactly.
So what's the evidence? Like, how do we know these iron cycling microbes were actually there taking advantage of all this? What's the specific evidence?
Well, the researchers found they found telltale signs in the rock record,
Okay.
the appearance of iron oxides, and a mineral called siderite.
Siderite.
These minerals are like fingerprints
Oh, wow.
left behind by these iron-loving microbes.
Gotcha.
They're a clear sign that these organisms were thriving in this post-impact environment.
So the rocks themselves
The rocks themselves,
are telling the story.
they're telling the story of this microbial comeback, yeah.
That's really interesting. It makes me wonder if these impacts, as devastating as they were,
Yeah.
actually played like a vital role in shaping early life.
Well, that's a key takeaway here.
Okay.
The S2 impact was undoubtedly catastrophic in the short term,
Yeah.
but it also might have inadvertently created conditions for microbial life to flourish.
Oh, okay. So almost like
Yeah, in new ways.
it forced them to adapt.
Yeah, it forced them to adapt.
And then they ended up better off.
Yeah, it reminds us that even the most extreme events
Right.
can have unexpected consequences,
Yeah.
sometimes even beneficial ones.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm blown away by the idea that these giant impacts,
Right.
these like planet-shaking events,
Huge.
might have been like instrumental in shaping the very trajectory of life on Earth.
And remember, we're just looking at a single impact event here.
Right.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, imagine the cumulative effects of numerous impacts over millions of years.
Oh, wow.
Early Earth was constantly bombarded by impacts from space.
So how might that constant bombardment have like nudged life along certain evolutionary paths?
It's like these impacts were periodically reshuffling the environmental deck, creating new opportunities for different forms of life to take hold and thrive.
Oh,
Some might have been wiped out, others given a chance to dominate.
sounds like
A giant evolutionary experiment.
playing out over millions of years.
Jesus.
Each impact is like a new experiment,
Right.
pushing life in different directions.
Absolutely. Some lineages might have thrived in the aftermath,
Right.
while others were wiped out, opening up space for new forms to emerge.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it highlights how evolution isn't always a gradual, linear process.
Right.
It can be punctuated by these dramatic events
Yeah.
that shake things up and create opportunities for rapid diversification.
So maybe those early impacts were essential for the emergence of complex life. like maybe without them,
Yeah, it's a fascinating possibility.
life would just stayed microbial.
Yeah, it raises questions about the role of chance
Right.
and contingency in the history of life.
Mm.
Did these impacts simply create the conditions for life to evolve,
Right.
or did they actively steer it down certain paths?
Wow. That's a big
It's
question.
a big question.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get too carried away with the big picture,
Okay.
there's one more detail from this study I found intriguing.
Mm.
Those pseudohexagonal crystal formations
Oh, yeah.
found above the impact layer.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Oh, really?
They paint such a vivid picture of the extreme conditions created by the impact.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine the atmosphere getting so hot
Right.
from the impact that it starts to boil off the ocean.
Right.
And as the water evaporates,
Yeah.
these crystals form.
Wow. It's like something out of a science fiction movie.
It is.
But these crystals, these remnants of a boiled ocean,
Right.
they also raise questions about how life coped
Yeah, exactly.
with such extreme changes in salinity.
Absolutely.
Right? Because now...
Well, remember those early microbes?
Yeah.
They were adapted to a very specific set of conditions.
Right.
And suddenly, their world becomes incredibly salty as the water evaporates.
Yeah.
That kind of change
Yeah.
would have been a huge challenge,
Right.
even for organisms known for their adaptability.
So how did they survive? What kind of adaptations might have allowed them to endure such a dramatic shift in their environment?
That's a question researchers are still trying to answer.
Right.
It's possible some microbes were able to tolerate the increased salinity,
Mm.
while others might have sought refuge in deeper waters,
Oh, okay.
or even pockets of fresh water.
Right, right. Or maybe they, evolved entirely new ways to cope with it.
That's right.
It just really shows how resourceful life is.
It does.
Always finding a way
Always adapting
to adapt.
and thrive even when the odds seem stacked against it.
It's crazy.
And it's this resilience, this ability to adapt and evolve
Right.
that ultimately paved the way for the incredible diversity of life we see on Earth today.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to think that from those simplest microbial beginnings, shaped by, cosmic forces and environmental upheaval,
Yeah.
we got to this, the complex tapestry of life that surrounds us today.
It's incredible.
It really is.
It really speaks to the interconnectedness of everything on our planet, from the tiniest microbes to the largest celestial bodies.
Wow.
We're all part of a much grander story,
Yeah.
a story that stretches back billions of years
Right.
and continues to unfold all around us.
That's beautiful, actually. So we've been talking about this S2 impact,
Yes.
this massive meteorite
Giant.
that slammed into early Earth,
That's right.
and how it may have actually helped to shape the evolution of early microbial life.
Yeah.
It's been a fascinating deep dive into this new research.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground.
We really have.
We've got tsunamis,
Right.
boiling
A
ocean.
microbial die-off.
Yeah, a die-off.
Followed by this unexpected comeback.
Yeah, an amazing comeback.
Fueled by iron and phosphorus.
That's right.
Makes you wonder, what are the bigger implications
Yeah, what does it all mean?
of these findings? I mean, if one impact could have such a profound effect, what does it tell us about the role of these giant impacts in shaping life as we know it?
Well, that's a question scientists are still grappling with.
Of course.
But this study provides some intriguing clues.
Okay.
It suggests that giant impacts, while destructive,
Right.
might have also been a source of periodic renewal,
Okay.
a way of injecting new ingredients and energy into the early Earth system.
Interesting. So these impacts were like cosmic gardeners,
I like that, yeah.
they're shaking things up,
Yeah.
creating new ecological niches for life to explore.
Exactly.
But how do we go from those early microbial communities to the complex life we see today?
Right. Well, that's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
This study focused on a single impact event.
Right.
But remember, early Earth was bombarded by numerous impacts over millions of years.
Right.
Each one would have had its own unique set of effects, reshaping the environment
Okay.
and influencing the course of evolution.
That makes sense. It's like a giant evolutionary experiment with each impact acting as a new variable, pushing life in different directions.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. It's
Ben.
just, wow, that's just amazing.
Yeah. It reminds us that evolution isn't always a gradual, linear process.
Right.
It can be punctuated by these dramatic events that shake things up and create opportunities for rapid diversification.
So maybe those early impacts were essential for the emergence of complex life.
It's a tantalizing possibility. And it raises even bigger questions about the role of chance and contingency in the history of life.
Right.
Did these impacts simply create the conditions for life to evolve, or did they actively steer it down certain paths?
Wow, that's a big question to ponder. It really is. Your life, not just on Earth, but potentially on other planets as well.
Absolutely. This research gives us a whole new way to think about the role of impacts, not just as destructive forces, but also as potential engines of change, perhaps even creation.
Wow. It's a reminder that the universe is full of surprises, and even the most catastrophic events can have unexpected consequences.
That's true. Well, what a journey.
It has.
From a boiled ocean and microbial extinction
Right.
to a flourishing comeback
That's right.
and the rise of complex life.
It's amazing.
This deep dive has revealed just the incredible resilience and adaptability of early life on Earth.
It really has.
And who knows, maybe similar stories are unfolding on other planets throughout this vast universe.
Yeah, maybe.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the S2 impact event and its implications for the evolution of life.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of the frontiers of knowledge.